Trinity Sports Medicine, the Orthopedic Institute, and P3 Performance offers you the best fully integrated and patient-centered approach to health and wellness in the tri-state area. Our team will coordinate and customize your care using the latest accelerated recovery treatment options available, dedicated to help any athlete at any level to protect, progress, and perform. Unleash your potential at Trinity Sports Medicine and P3 Performance.
Let's go, Bucks!
Woo! October!
Never heard of Bucktober before until last year.
Yeah, man. How about Bucktoberg?
Bucktoberg,
yeah.
Nice.
It's I'm copywriting it.
Bucktoberg.
We should talk to our Steubenville buddy, Zach DeLute, and Centerfield Smoke, and to make a T-shirt with that.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. Why don't you get on that?
Yeah, good shout out. Shout out to Zach.
Wow. Week 6 of the high school golf season. Let's try it again. Let's try football season. Golf season's over except for one person. Except for Austin Marinoff and the Madonna golf team. They're the only people left in golf.
Yep,
so congratulations to them going to the state tournament. Football season, week 6.
Yeah, that's still going on, isn't it?
It's still, rumor has it, it's still the fastest 10 weeks of our lives, and it's week 6. And
there's a big game at Big Red this week.
Rumor has it. Some team that scores like 77 points a game and averages 1,500 yards, something like that. Is that true? You've been looking them up.
Quarterback's going to Ohio State, Joe Burrows.
Really?
Yep.
That's back-to-back teams that are playing teams with quarterbacks going to Ohio State.
These guys are studs. And
anybody else in Ohio doing that? Just curious.
I don't think so. That's tough.
Yeah. Went from a D2 number 1 in the state, Mathison, to D3 number 3 in the state, Athens.
Undefeated, 5-0, and they're blowing everybody out.
They're killing people. Yep. They're just like, I mean, have every one of their games been mercy rules?
Probably, yeah, because they've put up at least 52 points. No more than, they're 52 points, 60 points in 3 games. They're riding a 24 straight game regular season winning streak.
Really?
Yeah, so this is 3 years in the making and coming into Death Valley, and it's going to be a good one.
Wow, and it's Big Red's homecoming. It's a 7:30 start, by the way, not your typical 7 p.m. start at Harding. 7:30 start. Homecoming, no less, and Athens, and I can't think of the running back's name.
For Athens?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
He's also, he ran track. Very good athlete, very good runner.
It's going to be tough for the Big Red defense to stop, but I think they did a decent job stopping Mathison on the road.
Yeah, they did. Week. I mean, you look at what they did. You know, and after a 14-0 deficit early, they outscored them 13-12 the rest of the game. I know no one's into moral victories. And apparently the 3 kids that were hurt were all playing Friday night from what I hear.
That's the kind of team they need to.
They need a full slate of kids. And I know I talked to someone who was there, and he said Dimitri Kolarz had a really rough start but played really well the rest of the game. Johnny Blue had a nice run. I mean, I think the whole game, I don't want to say turned, but Big Red's down 14-0, and they got the ball on their own 29. It's 4th and 1 on their own 29, and Reno goes for it.
Yeah, and didn't get it.
And no, he gets it. Yep. He gets it, and then Johnny Blue went on a 57-yard run down to the 6, and then Big Red scores to make it 14-7.
Okay.
You know, and apparently up in the press box, when Reno went to go for it, they went, what's he doing? And he does it all the time. At least that shows confidence in your kids.
Yeah, sure, and it pumps them up, and obviously they went on a scoring drive after that.
Yeah, that's going to be a good football game.
Yep, I mean, it's going to be a statement game for Athens, too, because they're hearing from around the state that they don't play anybody, but now they're playing somebody.
Yeah, now they're playing somebody. Now you're playing one of the best programs in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, this is going to be a game that the entire state of Ohio, I'm sure, is going to be keeping their pulse on.
Yeah, really see what happens. See how Big Red bounces back after the loss at Massillon, and then see how Athens comes in when actually playing a team that has a winning record.
Yep, it's going to be a lot of good athletes on the field, and I'd take the over in this one. It's going to be
take the over.
I think it's going to be high scoring.
Well, Big Red's run defense was definitely challenged last week, and it's definitely going to be challenged this week. Sure. So we'll see. The only other local game we have on Friday night that's in town, so to speak, is the Hancock County rivalry, Glen at Weir High. Good thing about this game is next week it's going back to its regular slot of the opener. It's usually it was the opener for a long, long, long time, and then it got away from being the opener, and now it's going back to being the opener next year. And Oakland, you saw last week against Steubenville Central, started well, ended well, but had issues in between.
Tough to get their offense going. They were they had a chance to score right before halftime. They have the ball on inside their own 20-yard line. 3 chances with about 35 seconds to score. They run 3 pass plays that just kind of fall apart, and they have nothing to show for creating a turnover, getting the ball deep into their opponent's territory, and had nothing to show for it. If they're able to punch that in right before halftime, they take the lead, and it's a completely different ball game. But Central did well in the second half throwing the ball. Tony Barber looked really good, and Oakland was able to score 2 touchdowns down the end and made it a game. They recover an onside kick to try to score again. Fell short that time, but this is a game that Oakland wants. I mean, the season's started off well for them with the win in their opener, but it's kind of fallen off since then. And this is a rivalry game that the first thing Coach Ian Whittington said to his team after the game last week, he said, "You guys are going to come hard, play hard this week because you know what's at stake." Playing against Weir High because it's such a big rivalry.
Yeah, it is a big rivalry game, and obviously Weir High is 4-1. I think they're number 9, tied for 9th in the state in points in Class AA. They're coming off a 26-point fourth quarter to beat Liberty Harrison 50-16. Yeah. They're putting up some numbers between Larch and Cam Davis and JoJo Rice and Matt Hartman and everyone else. Their defense is playing really good football. They did a nice job last week against Liberty Harrison, allowing them one early drive, and then pretty much didn't allow them a good sustained drive the rest of the game. This is huge for them too. Obviously.
They've had 2 really successful weeks in a row, beating Grafton on the road.
Right,
and in that game, Will Larch runs for over 200 yards, and then he throws for over 200 yards in this game against Liberty Harrison. I saw that Cam Davis only had 45 rushing yards last week, but he's still one of the leading rushers in our coverage area.
Right.
So there's still 2 deadly weapons that might be tough for Oakland to handle. Oakland's Chase Hartley at quarterback is still a really good athlete.
Did
some good things against Central. Micah Swiger only touched the ball like 5 times in that game, but he breaks off a 57-yard touchdown run, and if they can get the ball in his hands, he can do some special things with it too. So it'll be a good one. Another
rivalry games are always good.
Another high-scoring game, I'm guessing, here too.
Another big game. We got 5-0 St. Clairsville, which is now number 10 in the state in Division 5, is going to 3-2 Harrison Central. Harrison's still dinged up. Kropka's not using those as excuses. St. C did a nice job last week, beating Indian Creek 28-7, coming off a win over Martins Ferry, and now they get Harrison Central. I think it's something telling where Brett McClain from St. C started a sophomore over the incumbent at quarterback, and Bigelow's doing a really, really nice job running that offense. My boy Kropka's in trouble.
It's going to be Harrison Central was leading that game last week against Martins Ferry 6-0.
Right.
Their defense shut them down, looked like in the first quarter, but then things kind of fell apart as it goes, and the game got away from a little bit at the end. But the Harrison Central offense can do some special things.
They do.
Zach Arbogast is a good quarterback
with both Mitchells and Bryson Porter.
Travis Stenson's really tough running back.
I think hopefully Giovanni Rocky's back after getting his bell rung a couple weeks ago. Hopefully he's back, which will obviously help their offense. But they still have to stop that Malik Gummer kid who can take a punt, take a kickoff, take a swing pass, take anything he touches, and go the yard.
Real versatile player. And this is probably the toughest game for St. Clairsville on the schedule. They're 5-0 now, and I saw they play Bel Air, Edison, Buckeye local, and Union local to close out the season. So they have a potential to go undefeated if they get past this game at Harrison Central.
Edison. Speaking of Edison and Buckeye, Edison goes to Buckeye Friday night. Edison 1-4, Buckeye 0-5. Edison showed some signs of brilliance against UL last week. Buckeye had a tough game at Bel Air. My guess is just all that emotion just kind of caught up with everybody.
Yeah, it was there for Buckeye. It was there for the Indian Creek game where they make it close and exciting.
Right.
And Bel Air both these teams were hungry for a win last week.
Exactly. And Bel Air's coming off a game they thought they should have won at Edison.
And
then blowing a 16-0 lead.
And they put up 60 at Buckeye local. But Edison coach Derek Stickles he says that Buckeye local can do some things. The backup quarterback that's filling in for Miller, Jared Moore, has been throwing the ball okay. And they got 2 pretty good receivers, Eric Bannell and Logan Denhart. So that's what
they scored points. I mean, they've done some good things over. Yeah.
And Edison had a couple big plays to stay in that Union local game with a long kickoff return by Cardi Andriozzi and a nice long touchdown pitch and catch from Colin Skeels to I forget who it was.
Robert Daly, I
Robert
think.
Daly,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, they both teams can do something on offense, and this is going to be. It'll be interesting to see who wins it, but because I know they're both going to be.
Yeah, they both win. And then Indian Creek goes to Beaver Local. Beaver Local is one of the new Buckeye 8 teams, and obviously Creek's coming off a tough loss at against St. C, a team that's the only Buckeye 8 team that they have a hard time matching up with is St. C. Now they're going to Beaver Local. A win there gets them 5-1. A win there gets them some secondary points, and a win there gets them back in the playoff race. It's going to be a steady diet of
run the ball,
ground Connor.
Yeah, and
ground Andrew.
Yeah, and only putting 7 points up against St. Clairsville, I think the offense is going to come out stronger against Buckeye or against Beaver Local and be able to put up some points.
Yeah, they're going up to Beaver, and where it's always hard to win, but it's just you figure they're going to get a nice steady diet of Zach Connor, nice steady diet of Perot, nice steady diet of whoever else needs to go.
Yeah. And the quarterback system with Jabari Taylor and Greg Wade seems to be working well for them. I think this could be maybe a coming out party for them to put up some big numbers.
Yeah, I think I like Indian Creek obviously to bounce back, and but I don't. It's not a must win,
right?
But it's on the outer edge of a must win.
Yeah, a lot nicer to be 5-1 in the second half of the season than it would be to be 4-2. Yeah, with only 3 games left after this week.
The other 7:00 game is more Madonna going to Bridgeport. The Dons got a win last week at Cameron, 13-6. They need to continue that because down the road is. They get Clay Battelle and Payton City. Mm-hmm. Bridgeport's coming off their first win. Or coming off a win a couple weeks ago, beating Payton City. So
yeah, and Madonna had that bye week that they maybe shook off some rust from. Joey Wiesiak ran for over 100 yards, but they still couldn't put that game away. It was only 13-6.
Yeah, they just they need to put those games away.
Yeah,
you don't want those teams hanging around because you just never know what's going to happen. All right, Brooke is 1-4, going to Logan, which is 2-3. That's probably about a 4-hour bus drive, would be my guess.
You're going from the top of West Virginia to the bottom of West Virginia. Taking a nice scenic tour of the Mountain State here.
How do you get there? I have no idea. I know Logan's a basketball school because I watched him play in the state tournament. I've watched him play in the state tournament over the last couple of years. If Brooke can give Aaron Walker time to throw the ball, Aaron Walker can do some damage.
Yeah, you said you saw him last week in the Park game, and
he didn't have a whole lot of time to throw. If they give him time to throw the ball, I think Aaron Walker can do some really good things. And I like Brooke in this one to get back on the winning track. They held Park to 21 points. Only scored 10, but they held Park to 21. Their defense played pretty well. Yeah. Their defense, for the most part, played pretty well all season. So
that's what Park's Michael Grove kind of took over that game.
Yeah, he did. He played really well. Going
to WVU for baseball.
Really? Oh, that's right. He is.
He's a pitcher and an all-around good athlete.
All right, Toronto is 4-1, coming off their first loss this season. Second loss. They're 3-2. They lost to Wellsville and Shadyside. They go to Lakeside, St. John, St. Paul. And this is a game they need to win.
They haven't had football in about 5 years, this St. John team. They disbanded the program because of declining enrollment, so they're finally back with football for this year. Coach Meek kind of compared it to a team he played when he was coaching at Wellsville, Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy, CVCA.
Okay, yeah.
Now they're one of the better teams. Right. They're always contending each year. But He said when he played at Wellsville, they were just starting their program. They beat them like 30-0 one year, 45-0 the one year. Then their contract's up, and CVCA's in the playoffs that next year. He said it takes a lot of growing pains for teams like this because this St. John team is 0-5 and they've only put up 15 points this year. Scored 1 touchdown in 2 games. So yeah, it's going to be really nice for Toronto to gain some confidence by going up there.
Because I also guess where they're playing is really nice from what Lumen tells me. Because that's where Lumen used to be, and that's where his son went to school.
Right. Yeah, they have Division I track camps and football camps in Geneva, Ohio. And so I looked up their website. The Spire Institute is what it's called. It's state-of-the-art facilities. So it'll be a nice road trip for them, I'm sure, and they'll come back with a win.
Yep. And then Saturday night is Bel Air at Steubenville Central, 7 o'clock. Bel Air's coming off his first win of the season. Steubenville Central, I think, found itself again at Glen. Running of Stone. Tony Barber did a nice job at quarterback from what threw some nice passes. The drops have to stop for Steubenville Central. Mm-hmm. That has to, when you're a really good team, you can handle a few drops. When you need wins, drops aren't the best thing in the world for you. And Blair's obviously coming off scoring 61 at Buckeye. Steubenville Central is going to give them a nice steady diet of Stone Romano.
Yep.
Little Chris Murphy here and there. and throwing the ball out to whoever you can throw the ball out to.
Yep, and last week, the don't want to call it, maybe the savior of that game was John Fallon for Central, who had 3 interceptions and the late one to seal it. And talking with him after the game, he was the most pumped up on the Central sideline because he says he missed up the onside kick that gave Oakland a chance to score there, but he redeemed himself by getting that interception at the very end to seal it, and had 2 more on the day. So just a big game out of John Fallon and the Central defense for holding tough.
Another Steubenville Central Fallon.
Yeah, I've heard just being here last year. I heard that name a lot.
Yeah, exactly. They're good. All right, we'll see you. What's McElwain doing?
There's buying his pirate tickets for me and him for the wildcard game, I think.
Nice.
Lexus Club, $700 each. Go Bucks.
Edison Volquez showing up.
I gave my prediction on Bucko Banner, 3-1 win for the Pirates.
Ooh, nice.
And I said it's going to be important for the Pirates to score first, but they're not. The Giants are going to score first, so we're going to come back by producing some runs
Look
later.
at you.
So, just call me Tim Kirchin.
I will when I get done. I'm in about 10 minutes.
You don't even watch the Star Sportscast, do you?
No.